Alright y'all, so honestly I am making this video for myself as much as I'm making it for anybody else who needs to hear this. So let's just start talking. Now I don't care if you are a writer, if you're a painter or animator, I don't care whatever the hell you do. I don't care if you are on YouTube thinking that you're somebody's fake ass reporter in this tired ass headband and this construction worker ass, overall, with this bird chest sticking out. Like, I don't care what it is that you do. I think that everyone can utilize these 4 things that I'm about to say if you're involved in any kind of creative area, career, whatever it is, hobby, whatever it is, all right? So when you are in a creative block, and I think that this is not uncommon at all, the first thing I think we all need to do is sit our ass down somewhere. Like I said, I'm making this video for myself too. The first thing we need to do is sit our asses down somewhere. And what I mean by that is stop stressing your ass out about this particular project that you can't get out, or this particular thing that you cannot finish, or this particular song that you can't finish writing, or you cannot record properly in this moment. It doesn't sound the way that you want it to sound. The project that you're working on does not completely look the way that you want it to look. Sit your ass, stop doing that shit. Take a break, bitch. Take a break, take a break, go sit down. That's what I mean by sit your ass down. Go outside and go look at some birds flying around or some shit. Go hang out with some friends. Take your mind off the project for that moment, for that day, for that week if you have to. You see what I'm saying? But I say that also understanding that there are people who do creative stuff for survival, and I understand, especially with the way that our fucking society and capitalism, all that shit works out, is that bitch, if a project is due, a project is due, you just have to do it. So I understand that. But I'm saying, if you have the opportunity to, if you have the time to, if you have the space to, if your life allows it, take a fucking break from that shit and go do something completely different. Breathe some fresh air. And I say this because I tend to do that sometimes where I'm like, if I do not finish this shit right now, like, I'm gonna be so pissed at myself. I don't want to take no fucking breaks. I don't want to do no shit. I want to finish this shit right now. How long I've been trying to finish this shit, particular project, whatever it is. I want to finish this shit right now, but sometimes it's just not realistic. You have to put the pen down, close the laptop, whatever, go outside, get some fresh air, and that's it. Or just take a break, like I said, do something that you enjoy, and it doesn't matter how long the break is, bitch, take the break, because when you come back, you're going to be fully energized. Your creative juices will start flowing. Thus, take the break, okay? That's the first thing. The second thing is that I think that we need to understand that these breaks are not permanent. And I think that, might come off as obvious, or it might come off as like, well, like, of course they're not permanent to some people, but sometimes with me, I'm just like, bitch, is this shit gonna come back? Am I still gonna be a writer if I stop or if I pause for a moment? Am I still gonna be a creative? Am I still gonna have the skills? It's just like, obviously, yes. But sometimes, at least for me, when I stop or when I take that break, it's almost like, am I ever gonna be able to get back into it? Am I ever gonna feel motivated enough to keep doing what I've been doing? You know what I mean? Am I ever gonna pick the pen back up or pick whatever it is, whatever tool you use back up? And of course you will, because that's just the nature of who you are. As a creative person, as somebody who just cannot help themselves but to create things, of course you're going to get back into it. And like I said, it may seem obvious for me to like, oh, obviously it's not permanent, it's just one block for one moment. But sometimes for me, when I'm in the moment, when I'm in the moment of taking that break, or when I'm in the moment of frustration, it almost feels like, well, this is what, nigga, this is what you've been, this is your profession, like this is what you're supposed to be doing, this is, or your hobby or whatever it is, this is supposed to be who you are, and you can't do the shit. So it feels like you're betraying yourself almost when you take those much needed breaks. But I'm telling you, and I'm telling me, that your art feels that much more expressive, much more free. It's so much easier to do when you take that break. Understand that it's a temporary thing that you're going through, that you're experiencing, and you come back fully energized. So that's the second thing. The third thing, I think it is very important to have other perspectives and enjoy other people's work, because sometimes when you get so hyper focused, you're so focused on finishing shit, you're so focused on proving yourself, I mean to whoever, or even to yourself, you know, focus on proving yourself to yourself. You're so fucking hyper focused on one thing that you forget that there are whole worlds of art and within the same field that you're working in, or different fields as well. There are whole worlds for you to explore. And honestly, a lot of times when you actually take that break and sit your ass down and go explore other people's art and go explore what other people have done, it will reinvigorate you, it will re-energize you to get back to whatever it is that you're doing. Now, honestly, sometimes that can kind of fuck with me a little bit too, because when I sit down, I'm watching something else, or I'm reading somebody else's shit, or I'm looking at somebody else's, I'm just like, see, this is what your ass need to be doing. That's why your dumb ass can't get shit done. Look at all these people getting shit done, working hard, you know, getting their art out there, whatever it is. If you're writing scripts or whatever, you sit down and watch a TV show, you're like, bitch, you can't sit there. You need to actually enjoy that person's fucking TV show or whatever it is that you sat down to watch. You can't be sitting there. That defeats the whole purpose of enjoying they shit. If you sitting over there comparing other people's shit to your shit, no, you need to enjoy and, you know, submerge yourself in the world and freedom of art. And don't sit there and be like, well, bitch, see, they got a completed project done. They got all this shit. You over here, you know, taking a break and thinking that you over here doing something while they got all this shit done. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. That's not what I mean by enjoying other people's art. You cannot do that. You cannot sit there and beat yourself up like that. It's not realistic. It's not gonna get you nowhere. It's just gonna make you hate yourself some more. That's, at least from my experience. So yeah, that's the third one. And the fourth one, I think is one of the most important, and I did not realize it until recently. I think it's important to sit down and really look at people's artistic journeys or the journeys of their careers, especially because I feel like as creatives, it's just inherent that we have mentors or artists that really inspire us, and they may have achieved a huge level of success or global success even, and I just feel like it's normal or common for a lot of creatives, no matter what level you are at, to have these kinds of really inspirational figures that you look up to, or just people that you really respect their art. And I think that it's important to, like I said, look at the entirety of their journey and also look at how they view themselves, because sometimes you're over here like, oh my gosh, I bet this person just knows that they're the baddest bitch on the planet when it comes to their art. And if you look at their interviews, or if you look at the way that they speak about themselves, they have the same kind of like artistic angst that you do too, where it's like, you don't feel like you're working hard enough, or you did as best as you could. If you look at some of these huge actors who are on the big screen, a lot of times you'll hear some of them say, I can't rewatch my own movies, I don't rewatch my own stuff. So, and also, like I said, just look at the entirety of their journey. Look at, like, some people were working for years on end in careers that or jobs that did not fulfill them, and now they have like achieved this meteoric, stratospheric level of success in their artistic passions, or they for years were uninspired by the very art form or art in general that has led to their extreme success. So I think it's very important to be realistic, or to seek out those stories, because a lot of times media will frame these hugely successful artists as like geniuses who have just come out of nowhere, and a lot of them are geniuses, but they didn't come out of nowhere. They had their struggles too. They had their days where they felt like giving up too, and a lot of times you'll see that in their biographies or whatever they talk, their interviews and shit. So I think it's important, yes, to look up to certain people and to have your mentors and to have people who inspire you, yes, but also to be realistic about their stories and how long it took them to get there, or how hard it was to get to this specific point, and to, like I said, understand or look at how they speak about themselves. You thinking that they've arrived, and they don't even think that they've arrived themselves. So I just think being realistic and looking at ourselves through maybe a different perspective, or respecting our own journey, and while also looking at other people's journeys and being inspired by them, or understanding that you ain't the only one going through this bullshit, going through these creative blocks. It's one of the most important things that we can do as artists, as creatives. But yes, I don't know, I like every time I take a break or I get frustrated with a particular project, whether that be music, writing, videos, editing, all that shit. Every time I have to remind myself of these things because it's like, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. You're going to make it through this creative block. It's gonna be okay. You're going to pick it right back up, whether that be a week later, you know, a day later, a month later. I don't care if it's a year later. It's within you. Of course, you have to work at your craft and be dedicated to it, of course. But to sit here and act like every day is going to be perfect or every day you should be producing something religiously, and it's just like, it's unrealistic, and I think that shit is unnatural. Like I said, I think it ties back into the way this economy is, and it's almost like you have no worth if you haven't produced today, you see? But I think that's not healthy for us. So yeah, those are my 4 points. I would love to see what y'all think about it, because I'm telling you, I don't know, it was on my mind this weekend. I spoke a little bit about it on my podcast on Patreon, so maybe that's kind of what's encouraging me to make this video. But yeah, I would love to hear what y'all think about it, especially y'all artists and creatives who go through this kind of shit. It's annoying as hell, but we gonna make it. We gonna make it. But yeah, anyway, hopefully that was a little bit encouraging. I'm telling you, I needed to. Love y'all so much. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure that you have a good goddamn evening.
Yes, ma'am, that's a catfish, and ain't no realness in that bitch. That catfish tragic. Online savage, real life average.